Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all the viewers, especially my SPM students for 2020. Today, you are going to be with me for English 1119 Paper 1, and our focus for today is only on continuous writing, and the title that we are going to go through today for this lot is Continuous Writing, Don't Overdo It. Come and be with me for the next slot. I am Teacher Zurainee Arifin, or known as DZ from SMK Kemumin, and hopefully by the end of this slot, we are going to fulfill the 3 objectives that I have laid out for you. The first one is you are going to know the types of essays. Second one, you are going to know the types of grabbers and some notes to ponder. What are grabbers? Hold on, you have to be with me so that you will know what grabbers refer to. And last one, the third objective, if hopefully you are going to jot down the tips to add color to your essays. We are going to proceed with the next slot. That is continuous writing, 5 questions, and you need to choose only one topic that interests you the most. Different people will have different interests, so you don't have to compare what you want to write to what your friends want to write, because different people will have different abilities and different interests on what they want to write. So these are the types of writing that you need to know. First is narrative, second, argumentative, third, descriptive, fourth, factual and expository, and the last type is reflective. Any of those essays do not ring any bell to your ears, not to worry, because I'm going to share with you in details what each one cover and what you need to have in order for you to score good marks for your essay writing. Okay students, I have shared with you the 5 types of writing. Now we will look at the first essay or the first writing. The first one is narrative writing. Okay, for narrative writing, this is our working title for today. Write a story about a teenager who has succeeded in her life after going through many challenges, and end your story with that was the reward for her patience and hard work. If you are interested to write a narrative writing, what you need to remember is you need to have the ability to imagine a situation and express your creative ideas. Okay, remember that we are the one who is responsible to create our characters and also the plot of the story. But it needs to be fit to the question given. So if we go back to our question here, write a story about a teenager. So our main character must be a teenager who has succeeded in her life. So it is clearly stated here that our main character must be a female character after going through many challenges. So our plot must highlight the challenges and the problems faced by this main character. And remember, read your question until the end. End your story with that was the reward for her patience and hard work. So, although you are cracking your brain for creative ideas, you still need to remember it needs to fit to the questions given. Use chronological order. Why? Because your readers need to follow your ideas clearly. Next, you are encouraged to use descriptive language, which includes vivid verbs and colorful adjectives and adverbs. And if you manage to make your readers see, hear, feel, touch, and taste the story, that means you hit the nail for narrative writing. You are already a good writer for narrative writing. Next one, we will look at the next type of essay. The next type of essay is argumentative essay. In argumentative essay, our working title for today is Cell Phones, One of Our Greatest Technologies Misused. Do you agree? So if you choose this kind of essay, first, you must have a valid argument towards your stand. Your stand, whether you agree or disagree. And to support your argument, the readers must be presented with a choice, whether they agree or disagree with your argument. And to do that, you need to use evidence to substantiate our argument and to refute the opposing argument. Remember, you also need to refute the opposing argument. And you have to be able to support your argument with evidence and facts. That is why, from my personal point of view, if this kind of essay is your choice, you need to be a good reader. You need to keep abreast with the current issues so that you can support your argument or your stand with the solid and current evidence and facts. Okay, after covering the two types of essays, now we are going to look at the third one, that is factual or expository essay. When we are talking about factual or expository essay, we are talking about giving information. Remember that, giving information. Okay, our working title for today is Write About the Causes and Effects of Pollution. Alright, our task is to make the information clear to our readers. Remember, students, we have to explain and inform without developing an argument, because we are not talking about argumentative essay here. We are giving the information to the readers. So most of the time, when we are dealing with factual or expository essay, we use the third person point of view. Next, we are going to look at reflective essay. Okay, for our working title for reflective essay for today is, which do you prefer? Living in the countryside or living in the city? Our task, if you are interested to write about reflective essay, is to describe a real or an imaginable scene, event, an interaction, feeling, or situation in our lives. We also need to evaluate our feelings and findings from the beginning of our experience until the end of the experience. Go back to the question, which do you prefer? Living in the city or living in the countryside? So, your answer must be written in the first person point of view, because the question is asking you as the writer, not others. Okay, the next type of essay is descriptive essay. For the working title for today is My Favorite Television Program. For descriptive essay, for those who are interested to describe about something, that means we need to describe what we observe. It can be a person, it can be a place, it can be a memory, an experience, or an object. And in doing so, we need to be able to make our readers imagine and experience for themselves whatever we have described. And remember, also, I will stress again and again the word remember, because I want you to remember this. You need to use descriptive language, which refers to vivid verbs and colorful adjectives and adverbs. Sound familiar? Why? Because this is the same kind of language that we use with our narrative essay just now. Which one is your pick? Which type of essay attract you the most? Come, students. I know some of you said that, teacher, I am a narrative person. Teacher, I am a descriptive person. No. As a student, I would like to advise all of you to practice at least 3 types of essay. Why? Because then only you know which part is your strength, which type of essay is your weakness, which part that you can cover, which kind of language that you are good at. Then only you choose one type of essay that you are comfortable with. So do not limit your choice to one essay type now. It is a long time, a long way for us to go for our SPM. Why not give yourself a chance to try all types of essay first. Okay, students, I have shared with you the 5 types of essay. Now we will look at the guidelines that you can follow when you are writing the essays. Okay, general tips. These are the general tips that I would like to share with you. First of all, underline the keywords in the question and read and reread the question for several times. Do not rush to start writing your essay. Try to use the brainstorm and the mind mapping and also organizing, or that what we call as BMO technique. During the brainstorm, you just brainstorm everything. You just pour out everything, including the words that you want to use, the vocabulary, and also the structures, the phrases, the ideas related to the topic. Then you group the ideas into several groups. That is going to be your mind mapping. And finally, you are going to organize which one is more important, which one is least important. Okay, then only you are ready to start with your essay. So I want to remind you here, prepare a mind map first before you start writing. Why? The question you are going to ask your teacher, why teacher? Because we don't want you to get stuck when you are in the middle of the writing. That is the worst case scenario that you expect to happen when you are dealing with your SPM paper later on. Try to add facts and figures where necessary, especially when you have chosen the type for argumentative and also expository essay. Refer to newspaper articles regarding people, places, and events. This will help you to come out with facts and figures which are solid and current. This is the time frame that I would like to share with you. It's only as a guide. It's not necessary for you to follow. It is not rigid for you to follow. So my suggestion is that the first 5 to 10 minutes for you to do the brainstorming and mind mapping. The next step, 10 minutes for you to do the drafting. And then 20 to 30 minutes for you to write out your essay. This is where you're going to write out your essay, but still you need to spare 5 to 10 minutes to check. During this checking session, you need to reread your essay, check for the spelling and the structures that you have used to make sure that you did not make any errors in your writing. More tips, please. Of course, I'm going to share with you more tips for your continuous writing. Keep your sentences simple because you want the readers to follow your arguments or your ideas or the facts that you have presented to the readers. But at the same time, you need to vary your sentences. Make them long sentences and also short sentences. How are you going to do that? Of course, you need to vary the kind of sentences that you use. You need to use simple, compound, complex, and also compound complex sentences. So vary the use of the sentences to attract your readers to read your essay more. Use paragraph to introduce new ideas and points. Do not jumble up everything in one paragraph. The word limit, remind yourself, the word limit is only 350 words. I am not encouraging you to write more than 350 words because of the time constraint. So this is the group of paragraph that we suggest you to write. A rough guide for you to follow if you want to. First is the introductory paragraph, only 25 words. For the content and body, normally we have 6 paragraphs altogether, and for each one of the paragraph, only 50 words. And for the conclusion, just write 25 words. So altogether, you will hit 350 words. Don't write too much. We need time to check on our grammatical and spelling errors. If any one of you have the ideas in your mind, the more I write, the more marks that I will get. You are wrong. You better change that perspective looking at the question because of the time constraint. Okay, boys and girls, I have shared with you all the guidelines for you when you are doing the writing. Now, let us look at the notes to ponder when you are dealing with continuous writing. Remember, CW or continuous writing is tested based on language. It tests you based on your language use, your vocabulary, and your structures. We are not testing you on specific skills such as debating skills. So if you are not a good school debater, but you are interested to write on the argumentative essay, it's okay, as long as language use is there. The length is secondary as long as you hit the 350 word, but the task fulfillment is primary. So just erase from your mind, the more you write, the more mark you will get. The task fulfillment is the primary thing in continuous writing. Before writing, make sure you brainstorm and draft the outline of the essay. And you will say, teacher, just now you have said that. You have been repeating this. Of course, I have to repeat because I want you to remember that if you fail to plan your essay, you actually plan to fail. Okay, students, I have shared with you some of the guidelines when you are doing your continuous essay. Now we will look at the types of grammar or how to write good opening paragraph. When we are talking about good opening paragraph, that means we are talking about the grabbers or the hooks. Grabber means you want to grab the reader's attention so they will want to read your essay more. The hook, you want them to be hooked to our essay so that they will read our essay until the conclusion or until the end. So for this slide, I'm going to share with you 6 types of grammar. The first one is the dialogue or monologue. Dialogue is referring to a conversation between 2 or more people. Monologue is when you talk to yourself. And then we are going to look at listing. The third one is questioning. Fourth, quotations. Fifth, the use of anecdote or personal experience. And the sixth is the use of idioms and proverbs. So we are going to look at the first one. Our working title for today is My Mother. Normally, the average students would give teachers, most of the English teachers, we are going to have everybody has a mother. I have a mother too. Or everybody loves their mother. I love my mother too. Boring, right? So why not, with our working title for today, that is My Mother, we use one of the grabbers that I have listed down earlier. Why not you use dialogue? Amar, make sure you are wearing a sweater. It's cold out there. I could hear my mother even though I was already out of the gate. So it is nice one, right? To start our essay with a dialogue. Or you can choose to do the listing. Kind, caring, attentive, and not to forget, as gorgeous as a movie star. That's my mother. Her name is Azila. So, can you see the power of listing? I just list down all the positive characteristics of my mother and it becomes a good grabber for the essay. Remember, we have the dialogue, we have the listing. Now we are going to look at the third grabber. The third grabber is questions. Who is the woman in your life? The woman in my life is about 46 years old. She doesn't look it though. She is very energetic. Remember, if you ask the questions to your reader, do not expect your reader to answer the question because this is writing papers, right? Okay, so you ask the question and you yourself need to answer the question. And this is my favorite grabber, that is quotations. When you look into your mother's eyes, you know that is the purest love you can find. I read that once in an old Reader's Digest magazine. Why did I say that this is one of my favorite grabber? Because I myself is a reader. So whenever I read a magazine, an article, and when I found good quotations, I will write down, jot down in my notebook, and then I will use them when I have to do my writing. So why not? You follow the steps too. So you are going to have lots of collection for good quotations. Okay, so we have covered 4. The number 3 is questions. Number 4 is the quotations. And now we are going to look at the 5th one. Okay, we are still working with our working title for today, that is My Mother. So the 5th one is anecdote. What is anecdote? Anecdote is when you bring yourself, the story of yourself. It can be real, it can be something that you make up, but you want to make the readers feel close to you. Let us read this together. A very simple one. The working title, remind ourselves, it is still My Mother. On the first day at the new school, I stood by the front door with butterflies in my stomach. That sounds normal, right? Because on the first day, normally we feel very nervous. I voiced my fear to my mother. How will I adapt myself to the new environment? Crouching in front of me, she handed me advice I carry with me to this day. Be yourself. Be friends with everyone. Treat everyone equally and fairly. For all of my 10 years, I have lived by these words. Soon, I will become a part of the real working world. And on that first day, nervously facing new responsibilities, I know I will whisper these 2 words to myself. Just be yourself. It is interesting, right? Now you are relating your readers to your own experience. And the last type of grammar that I would like to share with you today is proverbs or idioms. See, this is the one that I like most. A man loves his sweetheart the most. Of course. His wife the best. Yes. But his mother the longest. This Irish proverb shows how much we value the irreplaceable person in our lives. That is our mother. Interesting, right? So now you don't have to start your essay with a very cliche introduction. Try to vary. Okay, boys and girls, I have shared with you the 6 types of grammars that you can use to start your essay with. Now, never be afraid to try something new because life gets boring when you stay within the limits of what you already know. Remind yourself, you don't have to stick to whatever you have practiced until today. Try one of the grammars to start your essay so that your essay will be more interesting. So more tips, teacher, for dealing with continuous writing. Of course, I am here to share with you some of the tips for you when you are dealing with your continuous writing. First of all, be original, be authentic when you are writing your essay. Use your own experiences, familiar settings and ideas because this will help your writing to become more smoothly and your readers will understand you more when they are reading your essay. Use your imagination and of course, we want you to include your thoughts and feelings when you are writing your essay. This will help the readers to understand you more. More tips, please? Yeah, of course, I'm going to share with you some of other tips that will add color to your essay. If you have opted to use the narrative essay or to write on the narrative essay, why not try dialogues? For example, Amira said sadly, "You are always in my heart." Or you can write the dialogue first. For example, "You are always in my heart," Amira said sadly. But remember, look at the punctuation. Remember to use the punctuation correctly. You can also use interjections in your essay. What are interjections? Interjections are the words to express feelings. So instead of saying, "I am happy," you can use the word "hooray." Then only you describe your feeling. So it will give more emotion to your essay. You can also use sound effects. For example, "Let's kill this love." This song sounds very familiar to you, right? So I use this song, only one line of the song, and then I write out the melody of the song from my favorite K-pop group Blackpink woke me up from my deep slumber. See, your essay becomes more interesting. Okay, next one. You can also use interesting expressions such as idiomatic expressions or metaphor. So instead of saying, "The baby looks so cute," why not you try this? "I love looking at the baby. Her skin is as soft as cotton and her eyes are like stars sparkling in the middle of the night." Remember, whatever you do with your essay, be careful of your punctuation. So you need to punctuate effectively. Remember that, students. Be good in your writing. Okay, students, throughout our slide for today, I have covered 3 things. First, you know the 5 types of essays. Second, you know the 6 types of grammars that you can use to start your essay with. And also, I expected that you have jotted down all the tips for you to color your essay more. Practice makes perfect. If you ask me how to be a good writer, teacher, my answer is very simple. To be a good writer, you need to write. Remember this. This is one of my favorite quotation. Work hard and be kind and amazing things will happen to you. Okay, remember, students, happy writing, don't overdo it. Remember, only 350 words and best of luck to yourself and stay at home. Let us together break this COVID chain. From me, Dr. Zurainee Arifin, DZ. Assalamualaikum.